You know what else is going to give you the run for the money? A $5,000 refrigerator, or maybe updates to the electric car. CNET Editor-at-Large Tim Stevens is in Las Vegas. He got a close look at some of the newest items. All right, so this refrigerator has been the talk of my newsroom because not only the price tag, $5,000, that's a lot of change to put down for your refrigerator, but the way it's going to boss you around in your everyday life.
Well, believe it or not, that's actually not light years beyond what a high-end refrigerator from Samsung costs already, but this refrigerator has a lot of special features going on with it. It's called the Family Hub, and the name kind of gives you an idea of the idea for the thing, but basically it's got a 21-inch tablet built into the right door, vertically oriented, in which you can do things like get recipes read to you, you can put your shopping list on there, kids can doodle on there if they want to, but probably the most talked about feature of this refrigerator is actually that it's got cameras built inside of the fridge. It can look inside and tell you what's in there. It can even tell you when your sour cream is going to expire and give you a warning and put it onto your shopping list so you get more. You can even order groceries to be delivered right from your fridge. It's expensive, $5,000, but personally, I got to say, I kind of want one.
Yeah, I mean, high-end refrigerators are a lot of money, and this one that allows you to make your grocery list right there while you're looking at a bunch of sour cream that's already gone green. I get that. But how lazy do we have to be that we want to punch a button to look inside of our refrigerator rather than open the door?
Well, I mean, have you ever been in the grocery store and you can't remember how much milk you have left or how much cheese you have left? Well, the idea would be you can pull it up on your smartphone and then you can basically tell how much you have left. So at that point, you'll know exactly. You won't go home with an extra carton of milk because you know exactly how much you have at home. So there's a use case.
The refrigerator is going to tell you what to buy for grocery shopping. I got to tell you, right now, these machines are running my life. My microwave beeps at me if I don't take my coffee out in the morning. My dryer yells at me if I don't go and get the dry clothes out of the dry. I mean, all the machines are bossing me around. When is it going to stop? It's too much.
There have certainly been some people suggesting that perhaps the fridge might actually make recommendations on what you should be eating now. Hopefully not. Samsung didn't talk anything there, but you never know what the future might hold.
Speaking of bossing you around, what about this Echo? Amazon's Echo, what is it?
So Amazon Echo is basically an extension of their smart home system, which is basically a little smart speaker that you can talk to. And it's part of what we're talking about, the next generation of interacting with our devices, moving beyond keyboards and moving into something that is a little bit more natural interface. You know, a lot of people have Siri on their smartphones, so they're used to asking for directions or doing Google searches by voice. Echo and Alexa from Amazon are basically taking that to the next level, where you can not only ask for directions and things like that, but you can get music played for you. You can ask for recipes read to you. You can even control the lights in your house. And Ford actually announced a partnership with Amazon to bring that technology into their cars in the future. So you can be driving home and talk to Amazon Echo from your car and say, hey, turn up the thermostat for me. I'm going to be home in 20 minutes. And the house can be warmed up for you. So it's basically interacting with your gadgets and your devices in a more natural way rather than just typing all the time.
What about privacy, though? I mean, you brought up the fact that you would have a camera right on your refrigerator. The Alexa and the Echo are connected to the internet. You could talk to it. So what's the potential here if hackers got hold of it for somebody to be in your home spying on you at all times?
Well, the cameras in the fridge are only looking inward, so worst case, they'd see all that kale that you're not eating that you should be. So, in theory, that's okay. But certainly, there's definitely a security risk when you think about any devices that's connecting to the internet. There's always a risk that could open the door to a hacker. This is definitely front and center in the minds of all these companies that are going forward. We're going to continue to see security exploits and security issues, and that's going to be a problem that ultimately is going to have to be part of our life going forward. But ultimately, all this voice data is encrypted, and everything that goes across the wire is encrypted. So it's not like someone could kind of listen into your conversations any more so than they could by looking at your search history or anything like that. So it's a concern for sure, but definitely something that these companies are aware of for sure.
Yeah, and hey, Tim, I hear that you moderated a panel, The Next Big Thing, along with Siri?
Right, we had Susan Bennett, who's the voice of Siri, who was part of our panel, which was pretty great to have her on stage, and it's pretty interesting to talk to her because you can absolutely hear that tone of Siri in her voice. She recorded that 10 years ago, which is pretty interesting, before Apple was even involved in the technology. So we got a little bit of a look at the history of it, but we also then had a panel of a lot of interesting people and researchers who were looking into how we're going to be interacting with our devices in the future, whether we're going to be using gestures. We had somebody from BMW, for example, and on the new BMW 7 Series, you can turn up the volume just by spinning your finger in midair, or you can dismiss a call by waving your hand in front of you to say, no, I don't want to take that call. You can imagine those sorts of interactions with our devices making things a lot more easy and a lot more nuanced.
So it's not always the machines bossing us around. Sometimes we still get to boss the machines around. That's the way I like it, Tim. That's the way I like it.
In theory, they'll get better at listening. That's the hope.
Thank you. Appreciate it.